Well, I've made it through all the rain and everything. God, we've had some torrential rain to get here at the Overloon Military Museum, or War Museum, I think they call it. So I'm just walking through the grounds to get to the actual museum part itself. So yeah, I came here last year on the battle study field, on a battlefield study tour. So yeah, so I'm just having a wander up now and have a wander around the museum. Okay, I finally arrived at the Overloon Military Museum, and I'm just going to have a wander around, so to give you an idea of what it's like here. Now, as you come through the entrance, it gives you a little bit of the run-up from 1918 to 1939 to the Second World War, and then you're hit with this full wall display of the timeline. So there's a timeline there showing the lead up to what's the name, and then you come across the Hotel de Grebe, and I guess this is it. So this is I guess a Dutch side of life, and they've even got beer on tap. So yeah, it makes a lot of noise. And then you've got a bit of a display going on here of bicycles. I guess a lot of these bicycles were nicked during the war by the Germans. And I guess these are some of the ones that have been adapted to carry weapons. And yeah, all very ingenious stuff, this. There's one with a load of hand grenades on it, the old German stick grenades, medical ones. Yeah, so there you go. So that's an idea of what that's about. So you get this for your smartphone, scan the QR code, and it gives you a running commentary, it gives you a map of the place, it gives you loads of stuff. So then you've got this big open space, there's a little bit of a video you can sit there and watch, and then it brings you into the first hall, which is the 1940. So the reason for using the code is that most of the descriptions are all in either Dutch or German. So if you want your English translation, you have to download the app, and then it gives you the descriptions. In fact, I'll do that and then find out for myself. Some of this is in English, some of it's in German, Dutch. So this is what happened in 1940 after they got taken over. So there you go. There's one of the bikes that they've nicked and adapted, obviously. And you've got these little boys. Yeah, right little toe rags, aren't they? So I just had a play with the app, and I found it a little bit clunky to get it into English, but there you go. But the museum's well spread out. There's a lot of information here, but it's not overwhelming. Nice little old truck. So yeah, it's lots of the information is all given in Dutch and German. So yeah, so you'll need to get the app to understand what's going on. And yeah. So the BBC used to broadcast into Holland in the exiles. The Dutch fight on to victory. Yeah. So this is what you're kind of getting. So it's really well laid out, spacious. It's not too busy. There's a skiff, I guess, that they use to cross the channel in to get to England. There's a depiction of what's going on. One way of getting through the minefields. So this is the kind of thing that you're going to see here. It's really well laid out. Really well laid out. The NSB, oh yeah. This is the Dutch Nasty Party. These are the ones that were caught out after the war. Yeah. So there you go. That's a look here. What will you do? I will join the WA, a soldier in the true spirit of National Socialism. Whoopee. Yeah. So this is really well laid out. I like the way that this sort of flows through. And it's showing a typical, I guess this is a chemist shop from the time. And yeah. If I didn't know better, I'd say that was Anne Frank. Because she was held up in Holland here, wasn't she? Before she got turned in. Yeah. Here's an old printing press and a bicycle with a generator on it. Now I'm wondering whether this was part of the resistance movement, printing leaflets, and the only way they could power it was riding a bike with a generator. Interesting. Yeah, so this looks like it's part of the underground. Limburg, KP. Ah, that looks like a little clandestine radio. A typewriter. Little printing press. So here are some weapons. This is obviously part of SOE and the resistance. And the Dutch had quite a network. There was D.D. de Jong and Harry Neve came through her hands when he escaped. So, yeah. As you can see, there's lots of propaganda posters about that was produced during the war on all sides. And yeah, pop round for tea and biscuits. Now that radio would have been one of the illicit things you weren't allowed to have, because I think they put a kibosh on people listening to the radio, particularly the BBC. This is an interesting story. Pastor Shepherds. I think he was responsible for getting quite a lot of Jews hidden in and around Amsterdam. So, yeah, that's a place you didn't want to end up wearing one of them. Don't keep you overly warm in the winter. That's I guess a greatcoat of the nice Waffen SS with a nice beating stick in his hand. Yeah, I'm not sure he would be actually doing the work himself somehow, but he would be encouraging somebody else to do it. So this is a common site, or would have been, the old horse and cart. And then later in the war, when the Americans arrived and the British come to take over or liberate, the liberation. So this would be some bunks in a work camp, a bit like the one I was at yesterday, Stalag XB. And then in 1944, after D-Day and sometimes after, the liberation of Holland. So here's some of the typical uniforms of the time, and obviously one or two people got together and decided to get married. So the GIs were here. And I guess this is showing the please sir, can I have some more? That's the state of people towards the end of the war. You didn't see too many fat people. Listen to the story. So, let's see what happens.
Kijk, dat ben ik zelf. Connie Hofhaast uit Amsterdam. Heel veel kinderen zijn ziek. Ik ook. Ik ben echt de hele dag moe. En het erg is,
All day.
je kan er niks aan doen.
I don't think about
Ik
it.
denk wel eens bij mijn
Sometimes I think, I'll never grow up.
Vandaag kwam er een verpleegster
Today our
langs,
nurse visited us,
samen met een fotograaf.
together with a photographer.
En weet je, die gaf mijn moeder eten en kleren. En in ruil daarvoor mocht
So
die
what you'll
fotograaf
find is
foto's
that
van
the,
me maken. Vandaag hebben we dus een heel klein beetje
they got
minder.
English subtitles, so you can have a look at these stories. Quite harrowing really, but I guess not a lot different to a lot of places around Europe at the time. England suffered as well with lack of rations, and I guess it was even worse for the local populations of the Low Countries. Germany suffered terrible with lack of food and everything. So, yeah. So the stories are here. Again, this is another one of those museums that is really worth coming to. If you're in the vicinity of Overloon, it's not far from Nijmegen. call in and have a look. So then you come into the next part of the museum, and I'll just give you a quick look round. They got vehicles in here, aircraft, a lot. So we'll have a quick wander around and have a look, see what they got. So this is just having a wander through. There's below deck stuff as well. Let's have a look down there. Yeah, so I guess that's showing a battleground of a village. And as you move through, there's all manner of tanks and stuff in here that was obviously left behind after the war. There's a load of German stuff as well. So, yeah. There's a wood burning engine vehicle. That's how it worked. Blimey. So you'd burn stuff and generate some heat, steam powered. Maybe they get that nowadays. Yeah, so looks like they actually use some of these tanks. They go and drive them around. So, there's a vehicle from Bosnia. So the Dutch were operating in Bosnia. They didn't have a particularly good time of it. Oh look, here's some sort of landing craft. Blimey, that's a big one, isn't it? That's huge. Yeah. That is. Look at the size of the wheels on that. Now, just to give it into some perspective, that's the size of this wheel. You wouldn't want to puncture that and have to fix it, would you? But this is the stores and everything, stores, trucks that they used. So I guess the Americans came through here as well as us British. Just the size of this wheel, look at it, it's huge. It's taller than me. And then you've got outside as well. So that's it. We're going up and have a look at that. Big old propellers on there. So there you go. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think that is a C-47, is it? Yeah. Not bad guess, was it? It's a C-47. That's the one they used on D-Day. They also used it at for Market Garden. And they carry loads of troops and kick them out. Oh, there's something interesting. There's a glider. And yeah. So that is a glider. Predominantly, I think, used by the British. So they've got all manner of vehicles in here, trailers, and you have a look at this truck, and 2 trailers. And sometimes they had a few more trailers behind it if they were struggling with enough vehicles to pull them. So yeah, here's your airborne stuff. Yes, so all in all, I think what you'll find is that there's a lot of fascinating stuff in here. There's a whole wall here of radio equipment, walkie-talkies, and all manner of teleprinters, different wireless sets, radar reflector of some sort. Looks like a Meccano kit, doesn't it? So that is a good depiction of what's available in this this museum. So if you've got the time and you're in the area, come along. It's properly worth your while coming along to Overloon Military Museum. And it just goes on. There's tons of stuff in here. Loads of equipment. So hopefully I've inspired you to want to come and have a look yourself. It is an interesting museum to come and visit. So that's it for now. I'm moving on. So here's something fairly interesting. I'm not sure you'll make out, but that looks like one of the old doodlebugs. That looks like a doodlebug to me, and it looks like there's a Spitfire or Hurricane chasing after it. And not quite sure what that is. I'll find out though, I'll find out. This is a North American B-25 Mitchell. Ah, it's a B-25. So used, I think, for the old daylight bombing raids. So there's an American field kitchen. And then we come into some German stuff. There's a load of German stuff here as well. As you can see, it's showing, I think, probably the Ardennes. At a guesstimate. The Ardennes campaign of 1944-45. Which was pretty grim. There's a combat camera. This is showing, I guess, the recovered wreck of a Lancaster NN775. And there's another film to watch. This is a scale model of the largest gun ever built. The life-size one was 9 metres long. That's just a barrel. So that is one piece of kit. I don't think it ever saw action, but I could be wrong. It's what they call a Beaver, which is a German mini sub. There's also a film you can go and watch, which is playing just inside there at the moment. So it looks like this is a hall of reflection, showing some of the war graves. So this is showing an illustration of D-Day, I guess. Well, that's a look around the museum part of Overloon. It's impressive. The way that it's laid out, the information that it gives. Unfortunately, it's just in Dutch and German, but there is an app. You scan the QR code and you can get it up in English, so you get the English translations and the English voiceovers and stuff like that. So it looks like they've also got, just up there, is an archive, a library. So I'd urge you, come and have a look. Now there's a lot of grounds on the outside and there's stuff out on the outside as well. It's got a nice little cafe here. So all in all, it's worth the visit. If you're coming to Holland, come to Overloon. It's not far from Nijmegen. If you're doing the Arnhem piece and all the rest of it, you might as well add in a visit to Overloon. Well, that's it. I'm all done. I'll give you a quick butcher's on the way out of some of the stuff that's here. Have a look at that. Some very strange sculptures. But just have a look around the site. So there's an old, I think it's a Russian tank. And yeah, that's the grounds that it's in as well. So that's me done. I'm on my way to find my next accommodation. So there's that little tank. It's a Russian T-34-85. There you go. Had lots of them about during the war. And this is the it's about 250 metres down to the car park. And yeah, there's some very strange sculptures in this place. But there you go. All done and dusted. So until the next one, TTFN. Ta-ta for now.